Welcome to the Blended. My name is Eric. We got a little special show going on. We got all excited and said, let's just throw another one in there.
This is not the regular Tuesday. This
No.
is in addition to this week's pod.
Yeah, in addition, how did it even come up that we're going to do another
You're just
pod?
always thirsty to pod.
I know. It's like the new passion, and I'm like, let's do it.
But since it is special,
Yeah,
this is going to be a little spicy.
a little spicy spice.
A little spicy.
Yeah.
So, you brought this topic of the full package. In that meaning, when you get with a woman, let's say, who has children, or a man who has children, you get the full package. You get me and the children. There's no
Right.
separating us.
Right, yeah.
But as the partner entering the relationship, you say that's kind of trash because that doesn't apply to you in terms of full parental rights.
I mean, I would say if I was teaching my kids, I would say we were way too early in the introduction. So I would want them, you would want to know this person and possibly his family, his interactions or her interactions with their mom.
Like, really get to know the nitty-gritty of the person. Travel with them. Live day in, day out with them.
Right,
Like, really
like,
just you two. Because
you
you're going
two.
to confront things in a relationship. Like, I mean, everyone has that moment when they first travel with the person that they recently started dating and you're like, oh shit, we're going to be around this person.
Yeah.
We have to drive to the airport. We have
Right.
to get on the flight. It's
Right.
stressful. TSA, take the
Right.
shoes off,
Right.
get pat down. All that anxiety,
Right.
flying, they got delayed, it's raining, the
Right.
taxi,
Right.
it's all this stuff when traveling can be so annoying.
Right.
And that's an experience you have to have with
Right.
that person.
Right.
And those are the type of things you need to live out, just you and him or him and her.
Right.
Because you need to know how that person's going to react. Because you're going to
Absolutely.
compound that with children.
Yeah, you're going to compound that to the kid that's not listening or to the kid that wants to be clingy to the mom. You got to know, like, how is his relationships? How is her relationships? Is there a lot of singular? Or is he able to focus on more than one thing? Does he get jealous because someone's giving me attention? Or someone wants all of my attention? Like all of it. These are things that if you don't see it, I mean, I always say I was blessed. I'm crazy. I know I could be crazy. And my wife will tell you in a second she could be crazy too. But we were blessed because we both come from big families, right? And so some of those things, we were just blessed. We got lucky.
Right.
But everyone's not so fortunate,
Yeah.
so we do our homework. And if we do our homework, better decisions are made. And then you can uphold what you call the package deal, because you can actually make a decision based on information versus decisions based on I love him.
Knowing those roles.
Knowing the roles.
Identifying them.
Yeah.
And truly having the work to actively play those roles day in, day out.
Right, and dismiss when you need to dismiss. You're not good. You're a good person, but you're not going to fit the role that I need to raise my kids because I'm actually, remember, if you're a woman, you're looking for a father figure. Now, even if the dad is involved, you're still looking for somebody that's going to show day in and day out that this is what dads do.
Because if you have a traditional custody situation, that child's spending more time
Right.
with his or her step parent
Right.
than he or she is with the biological parent.
So even if there's no discipline involved, which doesn't make sense because you're raising children. So discipline is something that you do daily. It's not even discipline, it's correction. It's saying, hey, but this is the way. Hey, that can get you hurt. Hey, so you're managing. You have to still be the general manager of the home. So even if the father's involved or the mom's involved, you're still trying to show these kids a loving adult. So you might as well do the research.
Lead with love.
You have to lead with love. But you have to lead with love from discernment, that you've decided that I'm going to do the homework. So I'm not just simply leading with love. I love him or I love her. So she's going to be great for my kids or he's going to be great for my kids because he's so loving to me. Have you asked him? Have you asked the question? Have you interviewed him?
Right. Have the uncomfortable conversation. You have to have, are you ready to take this on day in, day out? And do you have the qualities that are going to withstand the test of time.
Yeah, you're gonna be able to know that that they're gonna want to sleep with me. That means you're gonna have to be over there because you ain't sleeping in the bed with me and my kids. Like, are you gonna be able to do that? What, you know, are you gonna be able to wake up in the middle of the night and get out your bed with your woman because the 5-year-old wants to come in? Like, all these things they're just compounded, and sometimes I think we don't take it as seriously as we should. And if we did, then, you know, for the kids' sake, for your relationship's sake, the package deal would really be a package deal. Now, when you start getting into the thick of things, because most times in our early times, it wasn't that hard. You know, they were young. The kids, the kids like you,
right,
for the most part. Like, there's not a whole lot of drama. This is when they get older, mid-grade, where they pick their head up, and most times it correlates with boys, for girls and boys, vice versa, and options for power that they feel like they can, pull at their mom and get their way. But what makes you stay? What made me stay is because she is an absolute honorable woman, and her intention was never to hurt me. Not saying I didn't get hurt, but she didn't intentionally go out and say, I'm just gonna do it this way.
Intent is important. It's the difference between homicide and manslaughter.
Yeah.
Motivation, intent.
Yeah. Motivation. Like when I'm up in arms about the decision you're getting ready to make, and you calmly look at me and say, I'm gonna go opposite of your leadership direction. And in my mind, I'm like, what?
But knowing her well enough, having the foundation enough in your relationship to know she's not doing this to hurt me.
Right. She's not doing this to hurt me. So I can always come back to that. That doesn't mean that I wasn't up in arms. That doesn't mean at times I was just like, you are absolutely making a horrible decision right now. That doesn't mean that when she looks back now, she doesn't say, I absolutely made a horrible decision there.
And how that dynamic changes when you have two girls, but then shortly thereafter comes your biological child.
Right.
Now you have 3 girls, and your authority to make decisions, and that dynamic, as we discussed last podcast, changes.
Right, yeah. And
we already got your perspective.
Right.
And now what we have is Marissa's perspective.
Oh, I can't believe my baby just came to visit us. That's awesome.
I feel like he was just harder on me growing up because
the standards were higher.
Yeah.
With everything you feel.
Yeah.
Grades, sports, whatever.
It was more of like, be a perfectionist for me. That constant, like, not much of a leeway when it came to anything, really.
I used to say to her, get over it. This is what it is. I'm your daddy, and this is my expectation of you. And then, hindsight being 2020, I knew there came a certain time, like I said in the last part, that she's kind of looked at me and said, well, that's not good enough. Right? You can't, like...
There was a certain age you couldn't just dismiss her feelings anymore.
Yeah, no. She's like, what? Come back over here. We're not done talking. Right?
Yeah.
Again, hindsight being 2020, I wish I would have been able to do that, because those are true feelings, right? I wish I would have been able to say that maybe when she was 11,
When did you
10.
actually say it?
Probably when she was like 13. When they pick their head up and they look and say, you King Kong, but you ain't gonna hurt me.
When something had happened and my mom got in the middle of it, and at the end of the day, like, we sat down and talked. And I think that was when we finally, like, connected.
Okay, you said 13. She just said 18. You have a 5-year difference.
Okay, all right, so maybe it was 18.
So a complete understanding.
Right.
You feel like at 13 you were feeling more lenient to her point of view. But
right, at 13.
Maybe 15.
No, 15, because you're in college and high school at the same time, right? So once some of my fears of decision making for her, where I can say, okay, I have to honor her decision making, and I'm still the daddy, I'm still going to make some ultimate decisions, but I have to honor that she's my child and she's strong and bullheaded. And I don't mean in a nice way bullheaded.
Oh wow.
And I guess every parent goes through that where you start hearing, you less hear the child and you can hear the adult. And when you hear the adult, you listen. And
It's like that. Like I remember when I went to college, my mom said, "Okay, you're 18 now. I can advise you all you want. You're off in college, but I can't tell you what to do anymore."
well, we never had that kind of conversation.
No, not in that. Like I could run crazy and do whatever I want, but in
right.
that there's a point where I go from parent to kind of advisor because
Oh,
you're gonna
right,
do
yeah,
what you want at
absolutely.
the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're grown.
So
I can't
true.
stop you.
See, I had a dad moment.
Yeah, you did.
See that
You
dad
did.
moment
I had to
there?
cut. I had to bring you back
Had to
and
bring
say,
you back. Yeah,
no.
bring back. Yeah.
At the end of the day, she's 20. She's gonna do whatever she wants. You
Yeah,
might
you
call.
keep saying
Wait,
that,
no. You might call. Marissa might call and say, "Dad, X, Y, Z. Let me get your advice."
Right.
And you'll say A, B, C, and she'll go, "I think I'll do X, Y, Z." And that you have to respect that decision
Why she gave me
because
these flashbacks?
it is what it is.
Yeah.
You're always a parent, but you
Right.
become an advisor, more of an
Right.
advisor role
Right,
than
yeah.
a true parental,
Yeah.
day in, day out
Well, and
figure.
you hope to become advisor, right? Because if you're not, then you probably got some.
There's
you-
bigger problems.
Yeah, you had some
Yeah.
deep problems where you're just like, okay, I'm still treating you like you're this age,
Mhm.
and that kind of gives you a headache.
At the end of the day, there's no need to treat him ways that you don't want anybody else to be treated. Don't take advantage of his emotions. Don't take advantage of his actions, of his crazy protection. Like, don't
Mhm.
do that because that's not fair.
We'll call this the smorgasbord.
Yeah.
Because we were able to just kind of talk,
Yeah.
and I see how you really feel about me, huh?
I love it.
I love you too, baby. That's the blended, baby.